we see this creeping totalitarianism at varying degrees, right? We see up in Ottawa, kind of like the more extreme end of things, where millions of people have taken to the streets to petition the government for their fundamental rights, and the government is, we see the ramping up of the police, we see them seizing of the funds, we see them enacting the emergency legislation. But at the same time, we see those truckers, we see all the people that have flocked to the cities, the live streamers, and even some of we see the civil liberties stepping up. We see some of the MPs stepping up, and that's what I want to focus on. Yes, all these horrible things are happening, but so many good people are standing up and speaking out to their own. They're giving up so much. We saw those Canadians, those 3 Canadians who were arrested, and they said, hold the line. We're gone good. There's 3 more people in there to replace us, because it isn't just 3 people. We're not like that one tyrant up in your house. We are we the people. And there's millions of us. And when we stand together, there's nothing that you can do, but it takes that one person to stand up and speak out. And I wanted to highlight one of these people, and her name is Jennifer Say. I don't know why this graphic looks a little weird here, but Barry Weiss, who I'm sure you know, who left the New York Times and started her own Substack, recently published an article on there about Jennifer Say. And she was on track to be the next CEO of Levi. She was one of the top executives, and she walked away. She was offered $1 million severance package, just, go away quietly. And she said, I will not take your money, and I will not be quiet. From day one, like from the very beginning, Jennifer was speaking out, hey, the schools need to be open, relentlessly, always there. And I've had the honor of being in some of the same circles as her with this open school stuff. And she would mention like, hey, I'm getting talked to. I got called into HR today. But she never relented. She never stopped going. And this isn't unique for her. It's unique maybe among people, though. I think that we all have the courage within us. We just have to have enough faith in God to unleash that courage. But she is one of the first whistleblowers of gymnastics. So she was a big gymnastic person. I believe she was on the U.S. Olympic team. And she said, what's going on in gymnastics is not okay. It's a very abusive culture. You take these young girls, right? Like, what other sport has girls who are 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old going off to these Olympic facilities away from their parents under the care of men and older women? No sport. You take these kids and they, don't let them eat as much as they want, because you got to make weight and you don't want to get fat, and you got to do it over and do it over and do it over. Or you have an injury, let's just tape it up and keep going. You can't miss this. So she came out and she whistle blew the industry, and then that ended up paving the way for the girls more recently with the the guy on the U.S. Olympic team who was molesting people. I forget what his name was, but you should watch Athlete A. So Jennifer Say, I think she's one of the producers of that. And yeah, it's a crazy story, but that's what this is about. This is about people having the courage to stand up, to speak out, and to expose the tyranny. And then to do the work on the ground then that we have to do to replace these systems. But it first starts with that courage. And the reason that Jennifer Say did what she did is so that today she could call out the thing that we just went over, right? One of the first people to notice this and to take a stand on that, talking about the CDC just lowering the standard. And she turned down $1 million so she could put out this tweet. And, she obviously, like, she was a top executive. She's doing well for herself. So she has the financial ability to do that. And it might be a little bit harder for somebody who isn't that place in their career to do it. But, I'm a single mom. I was making $75,000 a year as a teacher. I saved my money. I put myself in the position when I saw this coming down. And I said, I'm going to hold the line. I'm going to save up my money. I'm going to put myself in the place where you can't pay me enough not to speak my mind. You can't pay me enough to put something in my body that I don't want to be put in my body. You can't pay me enough. You can't call me enough names to prevent me from speaking the truth. Right? This is all I have is my word and my God. And my God is my word. So that's what I kind of want to leave before I go off here and I go on to the Teaching Liberty community side and do a little Q&A there is just leave you with that. This liberty is, we have to reclaim our liberty, and that starts with courage, the courage to speak out. See, the founders of America, they were radicals. They were rebels. They were seen as extremists. And in times when liberty is so far gone, those who are protecting liberty often do seem like extremists, right? Because the other people have gone so far off the other end. So it does leave you out here on almost an extreme. But it's really just because if you back up and you see, well, actually, they've gone so far out there. And like, we're actually still in the middle and the other side's out over here.